Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Gosh, the weeks rock around so quick. I can't get over it sometimes. I'll just give this a second and make sure we are live and everything is running okay. I'm looking on the screen and everything seems okay so far. Cuppa with Kylie. I can't believe it's episode 58. 58 weeks I have been doing this. And my cuppa tonight. Hi, Lena. You made it. Yay. That's awesome. Now, feel free to ask any questions you like tonight. Anybody else watching? Lena has had a VSG surgery, and I'm hoping Amber joins us as well because Amber missed it a couple of weeks ago, and she also is at the same stage as you, Lena. So I'm kind of hoping she joins in too. So ask any questions as you go along. Feel free. I wanted to say, so my cuppa of choice tonight is Earl Grey. And I don't know if you've watched any of the work from Dr. William Lee, but he talks about like anti-inflammatory foods and anti-cancer foods and all this sort of thing. And Earl Grey is got specific ingredients in it that make it very anti-inflammatory. He says it's anti-cancer and all sorts of other things. So if you like Earl Grey, make sure you incorporate it into your diet every now and again, if not once a week. I have it almost once a week. It's too late at night to have a coffee for my cuppas anymore. So tea it is. So that's where I'm at. I thought this week, it's 10 weeks this week since I had my surgeries in Bangkok in December at the end of last year. So it was on my schedule to give you a little update of where I'm at and regrets, things I'd do differently, all that kind of thing. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so my journey started in 2022. I had gastric sleeve surgery because I had nothing left to lose. I had tried everything. I had a thyroid that had tanked when I was 21 years old. At this point, I was 52, 51, something like that. And I had tried everything. I even became a naturopath, a clinical nutritionist, and a Western herbal medicine practitioner to try and help myself. And I helped myself in so many areas. Couldn't remove the weight that I put on with my thyroid. Didn't know it was lipedema. Didn't learn anything about lipedema in 4 years of college. And when I finally did learn about lipedema, it at least made sense to me and it took the pressure off thinking it was all my fault, which is a good thing. It's a blessing and a curse understanding what lipedema is, because at least you know, okay, that's why I wasn't able to lose weight all this time. But then there's sort of not much they know about it in the way of a cure at this point. So I had read studies that gastric sleeve surgery potentially would help remove all fat that wasn't lipedema fat. So then at least you had gotten rid of that, because lipedema fat attracts other fat. It's kind of like that. You just have to look at a cream bun and boop, it's on your thighs. It's that kind of a situation, is my understanding with lipedema. So I thought I had nothing left to lose. I went through with the surgery, and it was an answer for me. Whether or not that was because it interrupted the hormones in my belly, the ghrelin and the leptin, because it cuts those out. Who knows what the mechanism was, but it worked. And I've now lost 60 kilos. Most of that was, I think, 50 kilos in the first year, and then another 10 kilos subsequent to that. So then in 2024, I was left with very saggy arms. And so I don't know if you can see, I've got the arm scars, eye scar. You can see how loose the skin is there, because I'm 55 or almost 55. But I had my arms done first because they were priority. They were actually folding over the excess skin. And because I had lipedema in my arms, which 30% of women get it in the arms, because there's different types and stages of lipedema. I've got a few videos on this channel about what the stages and types are, so you can figure out what you are. But I had it in my arms, and when I lost weight, I had so much hanging over that they were folding over on themselves when I slept, and the circulation was being cut off, which led to numb arms and made me feel like I was having a heart attack, because I always slept on my left side. So they were the first to go, and that changed my life. having that done, and it was certainly not as hard as any other surgery I've ever had. In fact, it could have been day surgery, and I was freaking out when they suggested day surgery because I was like, no way, it's got to be longer than that. So I insisted on staying in overnight. But the next day I was fine, and the recovery from the arms is honestly one of the easiest surgeries I've ever had. Probably easier than the gastric sleeve itself. So don't be put off if you need these sorts of surgeries after, because that one was really super straightforward. And when you think about it, they're not cutting around organs. Like with gastric sleeve, they have to dig around your liver and all that kind of thing. It's excess skin pretty much. I did have the liposuction to remove any lipedema fat as well, but pretty much they're not digging around. So therefore that's potentially why it was so easy. So that was April 2024 that I had those done. And then come last year, I was looking at coming across to Bangkok to do it on a holiday, and then we sort of decided to wait. The tummy tuck is much more painful from what I've seen. Well, Lena, I have had a lower body lift. So mine goes right round because my sag was so much. So my scar goes right round my body. And that wasn't the hardest one. At the same time as having, okay, sorry, so I got sidetracked there. We were going to come across on a holiday to Bangkok because it's much cheaper to do it over here. It's their bread and butter. They do it every day. They're very good at what they do here. So don't be put off by medical tourism and thinking, because some of the hospitals here have baby grand pianos in their foyers, and it's like you cannot dispute the quality of their service here. Yeah, no way. Yeah, okay. So we ended up waiting. I didn't fly across to have it done because by then we knew we were coming here to live. So when we moved here in September, I pretty much straight away, just by accident, booked in with the doctor that I had already chosen I was going to use, and went and had a word, and they could fit me in December. So like 7 weeks after we got here or something crazy, like I wasn't expecting it that soon, just happened. And I was booked in. So 4th of December, I had a lower body lift. So they go right around your body. And that includes a Mons lift. Okay. So if you don't know what a Mons lift is, that's the front of the pubic area that also sags. When everything else sags, that sags too. But because they went right around my body, I didn't have two scars. So sometimes when you have a Mons lift and a tummy tuck, they're two separate scars, so much like a cesarean scar and the tummy tuck scar. I'm not sure if I just had a really good surgeon or how it worked, but he combined them into one scar that goes right around, and I heal very well from scars. You know, you can barely see my scars. So I wasn't too put off by having a scar go around my body because I already knew I'm lucky that way with the way my skin behaves. So that was okay. So the 4th of December, I had that first, and that was no problem. Yes, after the surgery, you can't move in the bed, and you can't, like, it's like somebody's kicked you to smithereens in the stomach because they repair the muscles at the same time. So that's what hurts so much. You literally can barely move. But within about 2 days, I'm going to say, I could, pull myself up in the bed and that kind of thing. And I was feeling pretty good, thinking, this is great. This is easy. No problems. I was just being careful the way I moved. But then I had, on the day before I got released from hospital, and they do this, so I was confident that they knew what they were doing and that it wasn't going to be a hard surgery because they do it the day before you leave the hospital. And that was the neck lift, the lower face lift, and I think they did a brow lift in the end. I'm not sure I noticed a difference with the brow lift, but anyway, definitely with the lower face and the neck. I was, that was sort of more of a reward surgery for me because I didn't want to look at my loose neck anymore. So I'm pretty happy with my neck now. That was the hardest surgery. And I have not read anywhere about neck, any kind of face stuff being so painful. And so that one blew me away. That one was like, I woke up from that one thinking, oh, my head's going to explode. And I've never been one to press the buttons when you're given morphine or pethidine or any of these sorts of things. I've I've always been like, I don't need that. I'm fine. I've got a pretty strong pain threshold, surprisingly, because most lipedema women do not have a high pain threshold. And I was asking for the morphine, like, is it time now? Is it time now for the morphine? Because it hurt. But literally, and I had it the night before, so they do their surgeries at night here, not sure why. Or at least my surgeon did, and the company I went through did. And so the next morning, the nurses got me up, showered me, washed my hair because it's like full of blood where it all gets, all the scars are behind the ears and down the side here and this sort of thing. And they washed my hair and gave me some more drugs and all that sort of thing. And I was just really surprised that was the one that hurt the most. But pain relief was at hand, and that's fine. And I kept going, got home that day, literally got put in a cab. And at this point I was thinking, they're not sending me home today. There's no way they're sending me home today. I'm in such bad shape. And yeah, they did. They sent me home, but it was okay. They knew that this was more of a not an internal pain. It was just the type of pain you get with face stuff, which makes me wonder why movie stars and things like that go back time and time again for more face stuff, because that hurts. And I certainly, now that I've done it once, that's it. There's nothing more that needs to be done. I'm not after a perfect body. I'm just happy to get rid of the loose stuff and, feel like I feel normal again. So that was the main thing. So I had to wear compressions. So body compression, I still wear, not every day, but you should wear them up to about 6 months. I've read from other women that they stop wearing it after about 6 weeks because they feel no different with it on and off. Other women wear the compressions because if they take them off for a day, they get swelling and bloating, and so they need to wear it longer. I haven't really noticed the difference whether I wear them or I don't wear them now, but every now and again, like if I'm wearing the appropriate outfit or whatever, I'll put the compressions back on, the body compressions, and the face compressions you wore for about 6 to 8 weeks, something like that. It must have been 6 weeks. So anyway, that was all done. Ice, you get given a special ice pack for your face that sort of sits over your head, which is pretty cool. And I did all the things. I followed all the rules, did everything that I needed to do. And now I'm hi Janine, how are you? And so now 10 weeks out, my scar around my lower body, I've got a tiny little red spot that came up, I'm going to say 3 or 4 days ago, because where the scar is where the pubic hair line is. I did actually look at that scar and think to myself, oh, am I going to get hair trying to grow through that scar? Is it going to cause a problem? And yes, it did. I had I'd say an ingrown hair. As soon as I spotted it was this little spot was going red. I still had antibiotic cream for behind my ears and my head scars. So I just started putting that on the spot, and it came to a head sort of really quickly, and now it's sort of going away again. So but I was sort of watching it and thinking, well, if it gets worse, I'll just go to the hospital, because the company that I went through has an office and a nurse's station in the hospital, so it would be easy enough for me to go there. So it wasn't kind of an issue for me if anything went wrong, and it's sort of disappearing again too. So that's okay. So yeah, so now the scars, I started wearing scar tape because it's supposed to help, but I know with my knees, because I've had a double knee replacement and you can barely see those scars. I think I used scar tape on my arms once. I kind of don't really need to, and they're problematic and quite expensive, so I probably won't get more of the scar tape. I'll just let it go. I tend to use Correct X, which is a little ointment from doTERRA essential oils, and it's just got a bunch of essential oils in it, and I just tend to rub that over my scar now. But I was really good about keeping it dry. Any scars you have, water is the enemy, and I learned that from the surgeon in Australia that did my arms. She was like, no water, and the surgeons here said the same thing. So we've got a bath in this condo, so I just stood in the bath and washed myself that way and avoiding all scars for a good 6 to 8 weeks. Basically, as soon as the scar was completely healed over, I let myself get in the shower again then. So that was all good. And now there's literally, my hair's still dropping out because there's scars in my hair everywhere. I didn't have hair fall after VSG. I didn't have hair fall after the arms. I didn't have hair fall after, what other surgeries? Hysterectomy, because you can have hair fall after any major surgery. It's not just gastric sleeve or thyroid disease. And even with thyroid disease, I never really lost much hair. But this surgery, and I'd say it's the hair surgery, oh my Lord, it has just been like, I've taken photos of some of washing my hair and what comes out. Do I care? Of course, but I'm not worried about it. It will come back. It will sort itself out. My worst case scenario is I just wear a hat everywhere. I don't need to. It's still quite thick and that sort of thing. But yeah, the hair fall, but this surgery for me, it's different for everybody, has been quite insane. So that's been really fascinating and interesting to follow. So what have I got left to do? I am going to have a boob lift because my boobs, I have, had a child, and I'm 55 in a week or so. And so my boobs are quite flat and, all the rest of it. So I'm going to have a lift. Don't intend to have implants. That's never been on my, too many things can sort of happen. I don't know. I think there's new ones out now. It's funny because I was sitting in the surgery in the office, this company's office, when I had to go get my stitches out of my head. And it looks like there's new ones out now that are more natural or not silicone, or I don't know, because I know there's a lot of people that have issues with silicone leaking and all that sort of thing. As I said, I didn't read it very well because it's not really on my mind front and center. The surgeries I'm having now is more about, there's also, a friend of mine had the fat transfer. So that was because she had breast cancer though. Actually, two people I know have had that done. And that sort of, one of them had a few struggles with the tummy recovering. The other one has only just done it. So I haven't really caught up with her to see how it's happened, how it's evolved. So, but yeah, I'm just happy to have a lift. At my age, I'm not here to be a supermodel. I just want to feel good in clothing, and I want to feel healthy and all that kind of thing. I don't need to chase the perfect body, so to speak. So anyway, a boob lift will be enough for me. And I'm also going to have a side lift. So the side is this bit under here, and I don't know if you can see, but that's all skin. What I'm holding there is there's like 2 inches of skin there, right? And so they come up here. So they kind of go down from your arm and down here for the side lift. Your mastectomies have leached out from sauna heat. Janice, really? Janine, sorry. Oh, that's so interesting. Have you had them removed? Are you going to have them removed? Wow. Thanks for sharing that, Janine. Interesting. So, see, it's stories like that I sort of go, I don't really need to have beautifully round, perfect boobies at my stage. But never say never. I never thought in a million years I would have a facelift of any kind. So, and now I'm like, why not? If it makes you happy, go for your life. So, but yeah, I think in my line of work in naturopathy and that kind of thing, I think I've seen enough people that have had issues with implants that it's, I always talk about risk versus benefit, and I'm not sure the risk is worth the benefit in that respect. But definitely the side lift and this, so that I can wear sleeveless tops here or sort of tank tops here in Bangkok if I want to. That's kind of more that's why I want to do that bit, because at the moment under here, if I wear like a sleeveless top, these are okay like this because you can't really see, then the skin is spilling out. And when you've gone to so much effort and you've done the hard yards, you want it to all, be good. Work in process, any excess heat will dissolve silicone. Getting scans soon. Oh, that's so fascinating. Janine, if you want to share more about that, do you want to email me? It's Kylie at kyliewolfing.com. That would be amazing if you could tell me your story, because yeah, I just like to know about these sorts of things in case other people need to know about these sorts of things. Yeah, wow. So that's where I'm at with all of that, and that's probably helped me decide that no, implants are really not for me. Plus, there's somebody else I know at the moment. Thank you. Do you need me to type in my email, or are you good? You've got that, because the name of my channel, you can spell it, but it's just me@me.com. So once I have those done, so I've already I had the money put aside for the breast lift and the side lift, which I'll probably do around June, July. I've got a lot of work on at the moment. So once that sort of dies down, I'll do the next lot. And the only thing that leaves me with is my lippy legs. Now, my legs are far slimmer than I ever thought I'd get to through this whole process. They're still bigger than the rest of me. If you look at my thumbnails, I put up thumbnails of myself half naked in a bikini now for your pleasure. They're not by any means large compared to my legs, what they were, okay, because I'm half my body size. But whether or not I want to go to the trouble of, because the lipedema surgery for the legs, because I know that's a bigger deal. And that's not their bread and butter here. They know they have got the right machinery. They've got the water assisted liposuction. They've got all the things. But I tend to want to go to people that have done these surgeries as their main source of income, because they know them so well. And for me, it looks like that could be Turkey or Germany. Turkey's the cheaper option because they're medical tourism as well. But if you can't afford Germany, generally Turkey is the option. And from Thailand, from Bangkok, Turkey's actually not as bad as, and a lot of people from Australia do fly to Turkey for lipedema surgery in their legs. But I have been watching those pages and those groups, and getting your legs done is not for the faint of heart. There's some great surgeons here in Australia. You do not have to go to a surgeon that specifically markets themselves as a lipedema surgeon. However, you do want to go to a surgeon that is really familiar with this type of surgery. That's just my take on it. It's just like, I want to go to, when I have my face done, it's your face. You want to go to somebody who does this surgery all the time, not as a every now and again. And I have a feeling that lipedema surgery for here in Bangkok, for the companies and the medical tourism, it's just not a common procedure. It's more the mummy makeovers, the tummy tucks, the faces, the breasts, that sort of thing. So I'm going to say, if I decide to go ahead with my legs, it's not a given yet. I'll get through the boobs and the side, and once I've healed from that, end of this year, maybe next year, not sure, I will think about the legs. I'm not set in stone on that one, because I'm not sure I'm going to be running around Bangkok in shorts anyway. So it's like, do I need to? It would be lovely, but that will be a hard surgery. You hear people give their befores and afters and how wonderful it is, and it is. But with all of this thing, with this, my entire journey since the gastric sleeve through to now, it's not an easy journey. You've got to, it's a tough stuff to get through. The way I see it, we're also, we're doing the tough yards anyway with lipedema. So I figure, well, just take an extra step and take an extra breath and do it a little bit harder so that it's easier in the long run. And that's what the surgeries do for me. As long as I keep the lipedema at bay, I feel great. I can, run upstairs. I don't have pain. If I eat badly for a little while, then I'll start to get leg pain and that sort of thing. And then I know to pull my head in and eat properly, and then I'm fine again. So yeah, the jury's still out on the legs. So we'll see what happens there in the long run. But everything else has gone swimmingly. I wonder what you recommend doing first, because I'm very obese and will need to do a lot of cosmetic surgery in a few years. You're quite young though, Lena, aren't you? I have a feeling you told me once you were in your 20s, which also means, first of all, how are you going? How's the recovery going? Puree, you're 25. Okay. So depending on your skin, you may find it won't, like I'm 50, in my 50s, okay, before I had this done, and I had been obese, severely obese, for 30 years. So that's a long time. So you might find that your skin will bounce back a lot quicker than mine could have possibly done. All right, because you can see, you can see on my arms that, and there's no getting rid of that, and that's fine. That's testament to what I've been through and what I've had to, overcome, and that's okay. But if you are left with loose skin after your VSG, after the weight loss, then the first thing is, what bothers you the most? Is there anything causing you major issues? So for me, the arms were the major issue. They were literally, they would go numb. So they were literally causing me a major issue. And even if I could have afforded nothing else, the arms would have been I've got to do the arms. Even if that meant tucking my tummy into my knickers, which I did for 2 years, forever, I would have, because the arms for me were just like, they're so big. Besides the dizziness. Yes, okay, we need to talk about that. Did you watch my video last week on dizziness? Okay, I'm hoping you saw it during the week. So after whichever is the priority for you, then I always go in order of, with the surgeries that I've had done, what would I want to do if I had, the money for one surgery? What would be the one thing that I'd just be happy if I just did that? So for me, it was my tummy was next. After my arms, it was like, I wouldn't have to, because I'd lost so much weight and I had this big tummy overhang, it didn't look like my tummy had lost as much weight as I had. So for me, it was just purely, if I could afford nothing else, if I didn't have time to do anything else, or, whatever stopped me from doing other things, then my tummy, just to get rid of that, would have been amazing. And to have my neck not be all saggy and like a turkey neck anymore. Those two things, I was like, if I could never have my boobs lifted, cool. I wear push-up bras, whatever. And if I could never have the side done, I continue wearing shirts like this. That's okay too. So choosing what you have in the way of skin removal just comes down to your personal. First of all, is anything causing you a physical problem? A lot of people have the overhang in the tummy and get the rash underneath the, like the heat rash. Generally, that's not a heat rash. Generally, that's a sugar rash. Okay. And I tested this many times because I could bring that rash on, because I thought about trying to get the, Medicare to pay for, medically necessary skin removal. It won't work. I didn't, but I was just curious. The naturopath in me was like, when I eat a lot of sugar, that rash shows up in the folds of the excess skin. When I don't eat sugar, when I keep my blood sugar stable and I was carnivore and really good, no rashes. So if anyone out there is having rashes in skin folds, whether it's from after excess weight loss or whether or not it's just in the folds of your skin because you're severely overweight, sugar, can guarantee it. That's a sugar, especially if it's got that smell to it. There's a smell that comes with some of those rashes, and it's a sort of a yeasty or like a roast beef sort of smell. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a very distinct smell, and it is yeast and it's sugar. Okay, so there's a tip for you there. But definitely choosing what to do comes down to how much money you have, as to how many you might be able to, right, I can do one surgery. What's the thing? And wait a good, it was 2 years after my gastric sleeve before I had any loose skin removal. So things were pretty stable by that point. There was, because you don't want to have it too soon. If you have it too soon, then if you lose more weight, because I've lost more weight again since these surgeries, which of course they're taking off excess skin, but I wasn't expecting to lose sort of a whole size kind of thing, a whole sort of 5 kilos down from what I was. So as you do these sorts of things, you will go lower. So definitely just decide on which one was, if you didn't do any others, what would move the dial for you in your health, your happiness, your quality of life moving forward. That's the surgery that you have done. Generally, these sort of things just appear, and you'll talk to somebody or you'll read something and you go, that I'm having that done. And I didn't think that my first surgery would be my arms. They were my arms, because if I had nothing done at that point, I was happy just that my arms were no longer causing me problems. And then when I could choose again, I was happy that, okay, if I did nothing else now, I'm really happy with what I've done. And because we saved all this money before we left, right? So we had to work until that happened. And I'm still working now. So, yeah. So the leg surgery in Turkey, that's only also potential because I didn't think I would do that. So I haven't saved that money. So I've got to earn that money if I want to do that. So that's why that's also like, but it's more about, do I want it? Because if I want it, I will earn the money. That's fine. But yeah, I'm still sort of at a crossroads on the legs, only because I'm not in pain. I don't have inflammation. I'm feeling quite good. Trying to get to my goal weight and stabilize before doing anything. Yes, absolutely. Because if you try to rush it, and a lot of people do, they'll try to get the loose skin surgery at like 90 kilos, 80 kilos, sort of, because you do already feel amazing compared to where you were at. But yeah, no, the longer you can hang out, the better the results will be. And I think that when you have that loose, like my tummy now, go back to the thumbnail, my tummy now, I don't think I've ever had a flat tummy in my life. So to have a flat tummy now, it's like, wow, I look at it all the time and go, wow, where did that come from? So yeah, don't rush it, because if I had have had this surgery, 20 kilos ago, then I might have just sort of stabilized there and gone, that'll do. I've learned so much from you. Paul Seaford, Paul, tell me how to say your name. I've learned so much from you since my lipedema diagnosis last year. I'm 52. I'm busy doing endomology roller treatments, but they are so painful. Should I avoid it? I've heard different things about those. If it's really painful, is it giving you any benefit? I would ask. That would be, I would go, okay, how long have you been doing it? Has it benefited you in that time? Or are they just painful and costly? That's kind of, I look at things from a very broad perspective, and risk versus benefit. And if you've been doing them for 6 months, 12 months, you're not seeing any changes, and you are still in pain and all that sort of thing, then I'm going to say it's not for you. Something else might be. Honestly, you cannot beat a carnivore / keto diet. When I changed to carnivore, and I used to be plant-based, okay? If you've watched enough, you know I used to be plant-based, and I gave raw food lessons and all kinds of things. I was right in it. My life changed when I started following the carnivore diet, and I don't have to follow that now. Paula, thanks, Paula. I don't have to follow that now. I can sort of bring in some fruit and veg, but if you watch last week's video, I started to get vertigo, and I went down the histamine road, which sort of, I was eating a lot of histamine veggies. So we're so individual, all of us, right? Lena, Paula, Janine, all of us. No benefit, 6 sessions. I would say find something else then. Definitely. That's the way, that's what I would do for me. I would go, you know what, 6 sessions, I should be seeing something. As long as you are measuring yourself and tracking everything about it, if you can't find any benefit, then I'd say, no, maybe not. But honestly, when it comes to lipedema, I would say carnivore changed everything from a pain perspective, because when you're on a ketogenic diet, which carnivore is like the ultimate ketogenic, you will go into ketosis on carnivore, right? So, and it's just easier. You don't have to try and figure out measurements and all that kind of stuff with like you do in a keto diet. It is anti-inflammatory. Ketones are anti-inflammatory, so they reduce the pain. So I think half of my battle, and I didn't realize it at the time because I can only look backwards and go, oh, now that makes sense to me. And what made sense to me was the excess weight. Oh, you're welcome, Paula. Was adding to the pain. So any way that you can remove the excess weight that's not lipedema, that takes the pressure off big time. Right. So I have still got lipedema fat through my legs. You can still see the fat pads on the fronts of my knees, down the bottom of my knees and behind my knees. That's still really evident. So I've still got lipedema because I haven't had those surgeries. But I have no pain. I have no inflammation in my legs. I don't know if anyone here has been to Bangkok, but the stairs here are insane. There are stairs everywhere. I can get up them no problem. So if all of those things were a problem, then I'd go back to strict carnivore until I sort of got rid of those extra things. So that is definitely the way I'd go about all of that. So anything that you do for yourself, always give it a good chance. Because sometimes things have to get worse before they get better. Do you know what I mean? But if you're given something, a diet, a modality, a treatment option, a fair chunk of time, and nothing's happening, then I'm going to say, because there's a lot of things out there that are just kind of hearsay as to whether or not they work. My husband and I were at the shops. We're at a market on the weekend, and because my parents are over here at the moment, they're leaving to go back tomorrow, but we took them to the Chatuchak markets, which is one of the biggest markets in Asia. We were waiting for them to do their souvenir shopping, and those massage chairs that you can pay for in the shops if you want to, or you can buy one for yourself. We've never been in one, and they were like $2 for 20 minutes or something in this really dark air-conditioned spot. So we thought, let's just sit here to kill time for 20 minutes. Well, I think that's what it's like to have those pneumatic pumps. If you're going to put money into anything, I reckon have a go at those, the ones that you put on your legs and it pumps your legs, because this massage chair wrapped around my limbs, wrapped around my legs, and did this. Oh, it felt so good. And I didn't think I had sore legs, but it felt so good. But I lay there going, this is what those pneumatic pumps feel like. So if you've got an option to hire one of those or try those, I'd recommend that, because that sort of made me walk away going, I wonder if I can buy them here, or I'll just keep going to these massage chairs because they're cheap as. Anything with whatever you're dealing with, pick the thing that's bothering you the most. I don't believe in root causes, because if you work on one thing, you'll work on lots of things just automatically. So as humans, it's easier for us to digest information in small pieces and to digest goals in small chunks. So pick the thing that bothers you the most, whether it's having skin removal surgery, whether it's working on your pain, any of that sort of thing. Pick the thing that's bothering you the most, or that you feel scared about the most, or anything like that, and just throw everything that you can think of at that. Don't worry about the other things, because then that just takes everything out of, So for Lena, for you, for the next 12 months, you're in a honeymoon period. This is about you making the most of that surgery, keeping your blood sugar stable. Paula, for you, it sounds like it's pain. You need to get your pain under control one step at a time. That's exactly right. Janine, for you, it's your work in progress with your silicone. So just take that one thing, and mind, body, soul, work on the headspace, work on your belief systems around it, your fears around it, all of that kind of thing. Incorporate the physical, the mental, the emotional, and just take it a step at a time. All right. We always tend to try and do too many things at once. We get overwhelmed and then we stop, rather than just, okay, I can do this. I can do this one thing, and let's see what happens there. And I can do this next thing. Okay. So really, really important. Now, so for me, that's it. I'm doing really, really well, but I do mind, body, soul. I do a lot of emotional work because that is the key. Seriously, it is. That is the key to getting through this easily. And whether or not I do the leg surgery, we'll see. That's a one step at a time thing. First, I'm doing the breast and the side lift. Thank you, Lena. And I'm happy for you that you've stepped forward because you're so afraid to do this. So I'm just thrilled that you actually dove in and did it. And you should be congratulated for that, all right? Yeah, so we all need to just take that one step towards our health, our lipedema life, how we manage it. You're welcome. And keep going. Nobody my husband said to me before I studied, nobody's as interested in your health as you are. Go study it. That was him going, go study, nutrition or naturopathy. And I've kept that saying everywhere because nobody is as interested in it. Nobody sleeps in your head. Nobody lies there awake at night thinking about all the things that you do. So you've got to go ahead and do the things that are going to light you up or make you happy. You've got to do it with common sense. You can't sort of flit around and go, oh, I'm not going to do this because I just don't like it, right? You got a bit of common sense. But yeah, follow what you think needs to be true for you, for your health and wellness. That's all I can say, because as I follow mine, I get better and better. I feel like I'm aging backwards. The second half of my life is going to be so much fitter and happier and better than the first half of my life, which I never thought would be a thing, right? So I highly recommend that for you. Janine, don't give up. Look at different options till the right one turns up. That's exactly right. If something doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. Move on to the next one. I can't even tell you how many YouTube videos I've watched over the years and things I've dug into to kind of figure out what's my next best step. And it might have all the science under the sun around it, but until you're ready for it, like I never considered weight loss surgery because I didn't eat much, the thyroid thing. Thyroid people that are overweight rarely just don't eat much, okay? So most people think gastric sleeve surgery is for people that can't control the amount of food they eat. So it was never a consideration for me until things aligned and I read the right studies and things just presented to me and I went, oh, okay, it's because of this. So different options need to turn up at different times when you're ready for them. And I was ready emotionally to do that as well because I'd pretty much done everything else and I was ready emotionally to do it no matter what other people thought about me. And that's always the trickiest part. What are people going to say? They're going to say behind your back, oh, she must have been closet eating. Oh, she was doing this, that, and the other, right? It's so hard, but you've got to jump past that. You've just got to go, oh, that's it. I'm done. You got to do what's right for you in the end. And that's where the emotional work comes in. If you're not doing what's right for you, but you want to, then that's what you've got to look to be able to do that. Nothing else will get you to go forward, and instead you'll just sit in a space of wishing you had done something. And I believe no regrets unless you're not breathing anymore. That's kind of my ethos. When I went to uni after I'd done naturopathy, there was an 80-year-old in the lecture theatres learning, I was doing pre-med and they were learning microbiology and all that sort of thing. And I'm just like, wow, good for you. People never have the full story of someone. They don't, Lena, yet they like to think they do, and they like to give you their opinions and their judgments. We all do it, okay? I'd love to say they, but we all do it. We all judge. I think that's just the human nature of it. But that's where we've got to be really brave and go, you know what? People are going to talk, but that's okay. They don't live in my body. So now how I feel about myself. And, I was just saying today, we went and saw mom and dad at their hotel room and I was talking about excess weight and I was 130 kilos. I would go places and look at a chair and go, is that going to hold me? I might just stand up and pretend I don't want to sit down, even though it was killing me to stand up for hours. If I sat on a chair, that might not hold me. What would people say? What would people think around me? So the things that go through our minds Nobody, unless they've been that weight and understood that life, can possibly think, yeah, you relate so much. Exactly. I remember telling a friend of mine whose husband wanted to have gastric sleeve surgery. This was long before I had it. So it still wasn't even though he had it, it wasn't consideration. She goes, oh, I don't want him to have it, Kylie. I'm just so worried about him. And I said, and this is somebody who had been skinny her whole life. And I said, let me tell you what it's like to be overweight. And I told her, what it's like, what goes through our heads whenever we walk out the door, getting into cars, getting out of things, seeing a step that's too high for us, all these things that we navigate from day to day. We have to just get past that to fix ourselves and go, you know what? Am I going to worry that people are saying that, oh, she must have eaten behind, closed doors? Or am I going to worry about what they're going to say if I, make that chair collapse? So I think that's just the way we've got to look at it and go, we're just swapping one hard for another hard, but the other hard is going to help us live a longer, happier, healthier life. That's my take on it anyway. And with that, I have to go because it's been 45 minutes. But it's been so nice. Lena, Janine, Paula, it's been so lovely talking to you. I'm wishing all of you the very best. And I hope you all have an amazing week. And my parents have been here, you too, Lena, for 3 weeks. They leave tomorrow. So that's going to be weird, not playing tourist guide, after we've been doing that for a while. So it's back to work for us, or for me. Hubby's retired now. That's why we're here, so he could retire. And I will have another topic for you this time next Sunday night, and another different cuppa. Actually, you know what? We're going to be coming to you from Hanoi in Vietnam next Sunday. So I'll tell you all about that next Sunday night. I just realized that because I have to take my laptop with me so that I can do my live. So I'm going to have like an egg coffee or some weird Vietnamese coffee with me to share with you next Sunday night. All right, everybody, have an amazing week. Do what's good for you. All right. Bye.